Hello everyone and welcome back. This is Doc Ed Padama. This time we will be discussing how to properly answer your graduate school comprehensive examination. And we are going to do this discussion using the languages Filipino and English. So this is very important and our discussion will serve as a guide to graduate school students who are about to take their comprehensive exam. So, answering questions in the graduate school comprehensive examination requires a strategic approach, meaning you do not just write the first thing that comes to your mind. Hindi yung kung ano una niyong maisip, isusulat nyo na kagad. Kailangan ninyong ayusin, kailangan ninyong pagsunod-sunurin, kailangan meron kayong tamang references at mga evidences na gagamitin kapag kayo ay nagsusulat ng sagot sa mga tanong na gagamitin sa comprehensive examination. So here are some tips to help you effectively tackle these questions. Question in your comprehensive examination. So I am going to give 10 tips that will help you and guide you in answering these questions. Tip number 1, understand the question. Ano ibig sabihin nito? Read the questions carefully and understand exactly what is being asked. Do not give something that is not asked in the question. Wag kayong maglalagay ng mga bagay na hindi naman kasama o sakop doon sa tanong na ibinigay sa inyong comprehensive examination. And that is what we mean by read the question carefully to understand exactly what is being asked. The opposite of this is if you understood what is being asked in the question, yun lang, doon kayo mag-focus, yun lang ang sagutin ninyo, yun lang ang ibigay ninyo. Okay? Second part of tip number 1, identify keywords and phrases that indicate the focus of the question. Remember earlier, sabi ko, focus on what is being asked from the question. Ano ba ang hinihingi sa inyo doon sa tanong na nakalagay sa inyong comprehensive examination? So ano-ano itong mga keywords or phrases na makakatulong sa inyo ma-identify kung ano yung gustong ipagawa sa inyo. So karaniwan ang lumalabas doon, compare and contrast, describe, analyze, discuss, okay, expound, and so on so forth. So kapag ganyan ang mga salita at mga phrases, keywords na nakita ninyo, ano ang dapat ninyong gawin? So pag sinabing compare and contrast, ano ang pagkakapareho at pagkakaiba nung mga ikinukumpara o ipinapakumpara sa inyo doon sa tanong na sinasagutan ninyo sa inyong comprehensive examination. Pag sinabi namang describe, focus on the keyword. You just describe based on your knowledge. Ano ba ang pagkakaintindi ninyo dito sa ipinapadescribe sa inyo? Analyze. When you say analyze, try to present basis for your analysis. Okay? If you are going to present your conclusion after the analysis, that will be part of your strategy para maging mas convincing ang mga sagot na ibibigay ninyo doon sa tanong na sinasagutan ninyo. So that is what we mean by the first tip, understanding the question in your comprehensive examination. Now let's move on to question or tip number 2 in answering questions in your comprehensive examination. Tip number 2, plan your answer. What do we mean by planning your answer? Before you actually write your answer, take a moment to outline your response before you start writing. Anong ibig sabihin nun? Sa communication, kapag pinag-aaralan namin at pinag-uusapan namin ang communication, meron tayong bahagi ng proseso na tinatawag na coding and decoding. Coding and decoding. Code and decode. Okay? Anong ibig sabihin ng code? Ang code ay bahagi ng proseso na kung saan inaayos mo, iniisip mo lahat ng gusto mong sabihin bago mo sabihin. So ito ay ginagamit sa communication, specifically sa verbal communication. Pero dito sa pagsusulat, sa writing, ganun din yung proseso. Ang ibig sabihin, kailangan mo munang isipin, ayusin, kung ano yung mga kailangan mong isulat bago mo ito isulat. So, yun yung sinasabi ditong take a moment to outline, to organize your response before you actually start writing. Okay? Para makita din ng mga magche-check ng papel ninyo sa comprehensive examination na alam mo kung ano yung sinasabi mo kapag maayos ang pagkakasunod-sunod ng mga ideas mo na mga gusto mong sabihin na nakasulat sa inyong sagot sa inyong papel. Okay? Yung pangalawang bahagi ng tip number 2, organize your thoughts logically, ensuring you cover all parts of the question. In relation doon sa unang bahagi, yung take a moment to outline your response. Sabi natin kanina, kailangan ayusin nyo yung pagkakasunod-sunod ng inyong ideas, ng inyong thoughts, yung tinatawag nating thematic organization of your ideas. Ano ibig sabihin ng thematic naman? Ang thematic ay meron kang mga idea, meron kang mga topic na i-discuss. Bawat topic na yan, pag nagta-transition ka o pupunta ka doon sa susunod na topic, kailangan ma-establish mo yung relationship, yung relevance ng unang topic doon sa susunod na topic. Hindi yung una mong diniscuss ay ganitong topic si topic 1. Pagdating mo sa susunod, si topic 2, wala nang kinalaman o malayo na siya doon sa unang discussion mo, which is topic 1. Establish the relevance and the relationship of your discussions, of your topics in your discussion. Yun yung tinatawag nating thematic organization or thematic approach in organizing your thoughts or ideas. Okay? So that is tip number 2. Okay? Part of the second tip number 2, the second part is to ensure you cover all parts of the question. Balik-balikan ninyo, i-review ninyo. Lahat ba ng tinatanong, lahat ba ng mga hinihingi sa tanong ay nabigyan ko ng kasagutan? So pagkatapos mong pagsunod-sunurin, pagkatapos mong ilagay lahat ng mga naisip mo na sagot doon sa iyong papel, balikan mo, nakuha ko na ba, na-cover ko na ba, na bigyan ko na ba ng kasagutan lahat ng bahagi na itinatanong doon sa specific question na yon. Okay? Next, we move on to the next tip. Tip number 3. Use clear and concise language. Use clear and concise language. Ang paggamit ng mga salita na madaling maintindihan as much as possible. If you cannot simplify the term or if you cannot use simple terms, i-explain ninyo. Okay? If hindi nyo maiiwasan, you cannot avoid using technical terms, another way around it is to use the actual term, which is the technical term na hindi familiar sa lahat, and then follow it up with an explanation, with a definition. Kung hindi pa rin maintindihan, follow it up again with an example, with a situation. So yun yung sinasabi natin, kailangan malinaw at specific yung ginagamit nyong mga lengguwahe, yung mga salita sa pagsagot sa inyong comprehensive examination. Avoid using unnecessary jargon or complex sentences. Jargons are terms that are not common, familiar to everyone. Sabi nga natin kanina, kung hindi nyo maiiwasang gumamit ng technical terms, there is another way around it. You define, you discuss, you explain, you give specific examples para maintindihan kung ano ba ang ibig sabihin ng jargon na ginamit mo kung hindi talaga kayang iwasang gumamit nito. Okay, the second part, make sure each sentence contributes to answering the question. Make sure each sentence, bawat pangungusap, can contribute to answering the question. What do we mean by the second part of this tip number 3? Do not write narratives, sentences, or even paragraphs that is not related, relevant, significant doon sa sinasagutan ninyo. Nagbibigay kayo ng halimbawa, ng example, pero hindi na siya connected, related, o relevant doon sa gusto mong sagutan, hindi na yan makakatulong para masagutan yung tanong. Iwasan nyo yung mga napakahaba at walang kinalaman, irrelevant doon sa question na nasa inyong examination. So, yun yung ibig sabihin nung ikalawang bahagi dito sa tip number 3 natin. You have to be aware of what you are writing. Kasi minsan dahil sinisipag tayo sa pagsusulat, hindi na natin napapansin, hindi na natin na-review, hindi na natin nababalikan na ito palang mga bahagi ng isinulat natin ay wala nang kinalaman, hindi na relevant doon sa tanong na ibinigay sa atin. So you have to go back, review, balikan ninyo ano na yung mga sinulat ninyo. Okay, we are done with tip number 3. We are now going to move to the next set of tips. Tip number 4 and tip number 5. Tip number 4. Provide definitions and explanations. Provide definitions and explanations. What do we mean by this? Let's read the first part. Define key terms and concepts at the beginning of your answer. Define key terms and concepts at the beginning of your answer. The purpose of this first part, defining key terms and concepts, is to clarify and to guide the reader of your answer of what you would like to use. What does these terms or words refer to? Ano ang kahulugan ng mga salita o ng mga konsepto o ng mga theory na gagamitin mo? Okay? If this involves something technical, definitely you have to expound, you have to discuss, and you have to explain itong mga terms at mga concepts na gagamitin mo. Gagamitin, meaning hindi mo pa ginagamit, but at the beginning of your discussion, bigyan mo na sila ng maiksing definition. Maiksi pero malinaw na definition ng mga salitang gagamitin mo sa iyong discussion. Okay, that is what we mean by the first part. Second part of tip number 4, explain any technical terms which is relevant doon sa first part. Explain any technical terms or methodologies used in your response. So this is just to support the first part of tip number 4. In a way, pareho lang sila halos ng sinasabi. Kapag meron kayong mga salita, methods, concepts, theories na gagamitin sa inyong sagot sa mga tanong sa inyong comprehensive examination, kailangan maipaliwanag nyo ito ng mabuti. At mabigyan nyo muna ng malinaw na definition bago nyo gamitin doon sa discussion na gagawin ninyo. So that is tip number 4. Tip number 5, incorporate or isama ninyo. Okay? Include relevant theories and frameworks. The only purpose to simplify tip number 5, you need to do this. This is not necessarily limited to theories or frameworks. Pwede nga siyang concepts, methods, pwedeng memorandums, references, citations, and so on and so forth. You can incorporate relevant, related theories, frameworks, sources to your discussion, to your answer. Okay? Why do we need to do this? Because you need to support your response. You need to present evidences to your response doon sa mga sagot mo. Kailangan merong sumusuporta, para merong nagsasabi, nag-a-agree sa'yo. So halimbawa, sinasabi mo sa iyong discussion na ang mga estudyante ay nahihirapan sa pag-aaral ng mathematics, pwede mong gamitan ng support. Kagaya ng maliban sa theories and frameworks, pwede mong gamitin yung mga resulta ng mga examination, evaluation, assessment. According to this assessment, the Philippines now ranks number ganito in terms of ganitong subject. Yun yung sinasabi nating incorporate, include relevant theories, frameworks, references to support your discussion in your comprehensive examination, to support your response in answering questions sa comprehensive examination. So, the first part of tip number 5, reference appropriate theoretical frameworks. Sabi natin, hindi lang siya limited sa theories or frameworks or models to support your answer. Kita nyo, na-summarize na kagad. Gumamit kayo ng references na appropriate, relevant, para masuportahan yung sagot, yung narrative, yung discussion na ibinigay mo. Okay? So, para scholarly yung dating ng iyong sagot. Meron kang, kailangan nyo talaga magbasa. Kailangan malawak ang inyong kaalaman para makapagbigay kayo ng suporta dito sa sinasabi natin. Okay? Ng suporta doon sa sagot na ibinigay ninyo. Okay, next. Second part of tip number 5, discuss how these frameworks or references apply to the question at hand. So, hindi na natin nililimit sa frameworks. So, dito sa ikalawang bahagi, kailangan i-discuss ninyo, kailangan ipaliwanag ninyo kung ano at paano related itong mga references na binanggit mo doon sa tanong na sinasagot mo. Okay? Kanina, yung halimbawang ginamit natin, nagdi-discuss ka na ang mga bata ay nahihirapan sa ganitong asignatura, sa ganitong subject, tapos i-relate mo doon sa iyong reference, ang ginamit natin ay yung result ng examination, evaluation, assessment, dito sa ganitong asignatura, internationally, ang Pilipinas ay pang ganitong rango o ng rank. So, yun yung sinasabi nating kailangan ma-establish mo yung relevance. Papaano mo masasabi na yung ginamit mong reference ay may kinalaman doon sa sagot na isinulat mo. So, that is what we mean by incorporate relevant theories, frameworks, references to your answer. Okay, next tip, number 6 and number 7 coming up. Tip number 6, use examples and evidences. So provide examples from literature or your own research experience to illustrate your points. Remember the previous tip that we discussed. Naalala ninyo itong katatapos lang na pinag-usapan natin na tip? Kailangan meron ngayong discussion, tapos meron kayong definition, tapos meron kayong example. Dito, yung mga halimbawa na pwede nyong gamitin ay specifically literatures or your personal experience, your personal research experience to illustrate your point. So, kung ang inyong sinasagutan ay may kinalaman doon sa inyong naranasan nung nakaraan, pwede nyo itong gamitin sa pagsagot ng tanong dito sa inyong comprehensive examination. Kung meron naman kayong natatandaan na literature na nabasa ninyo, again, pwede nyong i-cite yung literary piece na yon, yung reference na yon, you provide the title of the article, the author, the year, and then the idea. Kung natatandaan nyo yon, pwede nyo yung gamitin at pwede nyo isulat o isama doon sa sagot na isinusulat ninyo sa inyong comprehensive examination. Next part, use empirical evidence to back up your arguments when possible. Ulitin natin kung kayo ay mayroong mga research or studies na naaalala na may kinalaman sa dinidiscuss ninyo na sagot, sa ikinukwento nyong sagot. Pwede ninyo itong gamitin para mas mabigat yung inyong argumento, para mas mabigat yung inyong ebidensya na ang sinasabi nyo ay totoo dahil ito ay back up. Ibig sabihin, sinusuportahan ng literature, ng personal experiences ninyo, ng studies. Yun yung ibig sabihin ng tip number 6 natin, na use examples and evidences. Tip number 7, critically evaluate. Anong kahulugan ng critically evaluate kapag kayo ay sumasagot ng inyong comprehensive examination? Unang bahagi, show your ability to think critically, pag-iisip critically, analytically, by discussing. Pwedeng ito yung unang strategy na gamitin ninyo kapag kayo ay nag-analyze or nag-critic or thinking critically ng inyong sagot. Pwede nyo gamitin yung strength, present yung strengths and limitation of different methods or approaches. So, ibig sabihin, kapag kayo ay gumamit ng isang approach sa inyong pagsusulat o pagsasagot sa inyong comprehensive exam, tignan ninyo ano ba yung advantage nung ganitong approach. Sabi natin kanina, nung mga naunang discussion natin, na kapag kayo ay nagsusulat, pwede nyong gamitin yung tinatawag nating thematic approach. Ito bang thematic approach, yung pagkakasunod-sunod at yung relevance ng unang topic doon sa susunod na topic, ay appropriate ba ito? Karapat-dapat ba ito? Tama ba itong gamitin? Yun yung sinasabi nating isipin nyo yung strength. Ano yung appropriateness nung mga strategy, method, or approaches na gagamitin ninyo kapag kayo ay nagsusulat. So, ulitin natin, hindi pwedeng basta lang kayong nagsusulat o yung suntok sa hangin na pagsusulat. Kailangan ninyong i-organize. Ganon din, kailangan ninyong pag-isipan kung anong writing strategy ang pwede nyong gamitin para mas maipaliwanag nyo ng malinaw ang inyong kasagutan. So, yun yung ibig sabihin ng unang bahagi ng tip number 7. Pangalawang bahagi, consider alternative perspectives and explain why you favor a particular method. So, i-present ninyo parehong side kung kaya ninyo. Kung meron kayong dalawang pananaw sa isang kasagutan, i-present ninyo, and then after that, ipaliwanag ninyo doon sa dalawa. Karamihan ng mga Pilipino ay naniniwala sa ganito, pero karamihan din sa kanila ay naniniwala sa ganito. Sa kabila ng mga paniniwalang ito, mas pinapaboran ko ang ganitong paniniwala. Tapos sa kanya ipaliwanag bakit. Okay? Presenting perspectives, and then present your stand, present your side, and then explain kung bakit yon ang mas pinapaboran mo. Para ito yung sinasabi natin kanina, nako-cover mo lahat ng area. Hindi yung may naiiwanan ka. Okay? Okay, tip number 8. Tip number 8 onwards are typically reminders of what we have already discussed in the previous tips. Okay? So, parang nire-reinforce na lang niya. Pero tingnan natin kung ano sinasabi ni tip number 8, stay focused and relevant. Ibig sabihin, kung ano lang yung itinanong maintain focus doon sa question. Huwag kang mawawala, huwag kang madiderail, huwag kang kung saan-saan pupunta. And then make sure na habang nagsusulat ka, habang nagdi-discuss ka, habang nagkukwento ka doon sa iyong sagot, siguraduhin mo na yung mga sinusulat mo ay may kinalaman, relevant doon sa itinatanong sa iyo. So focus on the question. Anong ibig sabihin ng unang bahagi ng tip number 8? Keep your answer focused on the question. Yan yung sinasabi natin. Huwag mawawala yung focus mo kung ano yung itinatanong. Okay? Doon sa sinasagutan mo. Without deviating, meaning na hindi umaalis, na hindi naliligaw into unrelated area. So again, it is just another reinforcement of what we have already discussed previously. Second part, avoid adding unnecessary information. Again, we have already mentioned this earlier. Wag na wag kayong magdadagdag ng mga bagay na walang kinalaman doon sa gusto mong sagutin sa iyong comprehensive examination. That is a big no in answering comprehensive examinations. Avoid irrelevant discussions that doesn't or does not directly contribute to answering the question. This was repeated earlier. Okay, this was already discussed, okay, earlier in our discussion. Okay, let's move on to tip number 9. Review and revise. Remember, again, kanina, kapag natapos kayong sumagot, balikan ninyo, tignan ninyo, i-check ninyo, mag-self-check kayo. Ano ibig sabihin ng tip number 9 na review and revise? First part, if time allows, kapag meron ka pang oras, review your answer for clarity. Naintindihan ba? Simple ba? Malinaw ba? Coherence. Ibig sabihin, may kinalaman ba yung unang bahagi, pangalawang bahagi, pangatlo, hanggang sa huling bahagi? Completeness. Lahat ba na-cover mo? Magkakaroon ka ng checklist. Self-check. That is what we mean by review and revise. You have to cover everything. Everything should be related. Everything should be clear. Okay, second part. Check for any grammatical. This is fundamental. Any grammar. Grammar check. Grammatical or spelling errors. Kahit na sabihin yung you're very fluent, you are very good, you're a grammarian, there are still possibilities na dahil marami kang iniisip at sabay-sabay, nagkakaroon pa rin ng error. So, these can be checked by going back doon sa iyong mga sagot that could detract from your response. Kasi minsan yung iba, mali yung spelling, iba na yung salitang na isulat, iba na yung kahulugan ng isinulat mo. Okay, so this is what we mean by review and revise. We are already on the last tip for this particular video. And this is tip number 10. Practice time management. Ano ibig sabihin ng time management? Do not be distracted by the process of answering to the point na nakakalimutan nyo na meron pala kayong oras na kailangan nyong i-observe. So what do you need to do? First part of tip number 10, allocate your time wisely. If you have a number of questions that you need to answer, budget your time, allocate your time, ensuring and making sure that you have enough time to answer all questions. Despite of all the tips na ibinigay at pinag-usapan natin, kailangan mabudget nyo pa din. This is efficient writing. Okay? Last part ng tip number 10, if you get stuck on a question, hindi ka makagalaw, na nandun ka na lang sa isang tanong at naubos na yung oras mo. Palaging sinasabi sa atin, di ba, pag nag-exam tayo, move on to the next question and return to that question later if time permits. A very effective method. Why? Kahit graduate school level, magagamit ninyo yan at matutulungan kayo niyang ganyang konsepto. Kapag hindi nyo masagutan, wala kayong maisip, na-block kayo talaga, iwanan ninyo, go to the next question, and then balikan nyo ulit mamaya. So I hope you were able to get something or take away something from our discussion on how to answer questions in your comprehensive examination. And again, in order to help others, please do share this video with your colleagues, friends, office mate, group mates who are about to take their comprehensive exam. Sharing is caring. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. Stay safe and God bless, and I will see you again in our next video. Goodbye.